Being a reporter's hard. Really hard. You don't do that by popping off on Twitter.
They are taking Musk's comments seriously, whether he's trolling or not.
It's now the most ideologically balanced user platform.
Scott, stop. No one is regulating how people are treated.
How much government regulation of the First Amendment are you for? I think the impulse to restrict speech is a slippery slope and a dangerous one. More speech is better.
Is it really?
Welcome back to Rattlesnake TV, guys. So in the wake of the election, the new dawn, the mainstream media have been losing their minds. There has been panic, and that's because they have been caught with their pants down well and truly, because they have been smearing Donald Trump for the longest time now, calling him a monster, fascist, and all of the other pejoratives, only for him to come through and emphatically win the election. And since this time, it's been revealed that Comcast, who own MSNBC, are looking to palm it off. And Elon Musk came through with the troll tweet saying, how much would it cost? Followed by this hilarious meme, Elon Musk trying not to buy MSNBC. Now, I do say troll tweet, but is it a troll? Or is he serious? Let's explore. But first of all, Alex Jones has just been forced to sell InfoWars. And this is my favorite meme that's come out recently, showing Alex Jones behind an MSNBC desk. I mean, can you imagine? And this is obviously a pipe dream. But just imagine a scenario that was a bigger kick in the nuts and flex on the mainstream media, MSDNC, and the rest, than buying them out and putting Alex Jones as the primetime host.
I'm going to take my out.
I mean, we really do live in crazy times. I don't want to give up on this one just yet because hope is important in life. So with these recent developments, we're going to have a look in today's video at some of the reactions from the mainstream media who are truly melting down about this change in power dynamics in the media. And then at the end, we're going to watch Scott Jennings just perfectly dismantle one of these clowns live on air. But before we get there, guys, don't forget to smash the like button on the way in. Subscribe to the channel if you're getting value. And also wanted to remind you, the reality-based Christmas catalog is only available for about another week. So let's get into the first clip.
And we have some of the remarks you made during your acceptance speech. Let's listen.
I hate this damn debate about like, oh, we don't need the media. Like, it is not true. Think about what makes this. I love this country. I'm a beneficiary of this country. Like some from Wisconsin who can come and start 2 companies, be up here, win an award, sit next to Mikey. I'm a beneficiary of it. But there's something about the country. There's something about it, right? There's something about freedom, capitalism, the animal spirits of democracy. But at the core of that is maybe transparency, maybe a free press, maybe the ability to do your job without worrying to go to jail, maybe the ability to sit in a war zone and tell people what's actually happening so they're not just looking at distortion. Matters. It matters profoundly. It's why it's not like we just love getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning doing this every single day. Like, we do it because we love it. We do it because it matters. The work that we do matters. Everything we do is under fire. Elon Musk sits on Twitter every day, or X today, saying like, we are the media, you are the media. My message to Elon Musk is bullshit. You're not the media. You having a blue check mark, a Twitter handle, and 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a reporter any more than me looking at your head and seeing that you have a brain and telling you have an awesome set of tools makes me a damn neurosurgeon, right? Like, what we do, what journalists do, what you did in Mississippi, what Al Jazeera does in the Middle East. You don't proclaim yourself to be a reporter. Like, that's nonsense. Like, being a reporter's hard, really hard. You have to care. You have to do the hard work. You have to get up every single day and say, I want to get to the closest approximation of the truth without any fear, without any favoritism. You don't do that by popping off on Twitter. You don't do that by having an opinion. You do it by doing the hard work.
Yeah, come on, slow clap, everybody. Whoa.
Well done.
First of all, I've got to say, extraordinary content. It needed to be said.
Yeah.
It continues to need to be said. When all of the garbage is flying around on social media, lying about reporters, lying about the hard work they do, lying about the hard work editors do, lying about everything up and down about not only their alternative set of facts, but alternative set of facts about what people like you do.
So guys, I'm not going to lie, I do kind of understand what they're saying here. I somewhat can steelman the position because there is a difference between some random X account and an actual reporter. But there's also a big difference between somebody who has an X account and a following with an educated opinion and a mainstream talking head. And the difference there is that generally speaking, the talking head is beholden to some sort of an interest that dictates its position on matters, whereas the X account isn't. The person with the X account can kind of say what they want. I mean, the truth matters, and it actually doesn't matter if the truth is coming from somebody with nice hair and makeup sitting behind a desk with lots of expensive production equipment, or somebody typing from their phone. The truth is the truth. And look, there still are a lot of good reporters out there, people who go to war zones, people who do genuinely very interesting and groundbreaking investigative journalism, such as Matt Taibbi and Seymour Hersh. But in terms of the ones who are really worth listening to and reading these days, there really aren't many of them at all left in the legacy media, because you'd have to be a fool to not see which way the wind is blowing. And the way that the wind is blowing is toward a media ecosystem that is more decentralized. And the really talented people and the smart people have gone and created their own brand where they're not beholden to anyone. And that kicks the ass of working for a network any day. And actually, when you do operate in this ecosystem, people vote with their eyeballs and with their clicks. So if you're bullshitting and you have an agenda and you get found out, then the court of public opinion here is absolutely ruthless. The viewers are the ones who you've got to be accountable to, or they'll just go and watch somebody else and not your donors. And I think that that's pretty positive. So anyway, on to the next bit where Big Toe Brian Stelter weighs in.
They are taking Musk's comments seriously, whether he's trolling or not. There is a serious undercurrent to this, and it is the following. In some countries where we've seen democratic backsliding, where some oppositional media outlets have been captured by the government, a process known as media capture, this is exactly what happens. An ally of the leader, like Musk, comes in and buys a media outlet that is viewed as oppositional, and then he turns the content and makes it more friendly to the person in power. That has happened before in other countries. That's part of the concern when, even if Elon Musk is just joking, that's part of the concern here when it comes to MSNBC. But at the moment, this spinoff that Comcast is doing will take at least a year to complete. There's no immediate sale or any of that, I'm told, that is planned.
So Brian Stelter, looking like Sam Brinton and Butterbean, had a child as always. And it's very interesting to see the line that Brian has gone with here. You see Brian clinging desperately for relevance after being let go by CNN 2 years ago, used that time to go into the hyperbolic chamber. And now, upon his return, he has come out with a new and improved form of Trump derangement syndrome, and now also the cutting edge Elon derangement syndrome. You see, what little Brian has done here with his little analysis there is he has taken the roundabout way of calling Trump and Elon fascists. He thinks he's doing a big boy move here by giving historical context for collusion between corporations and governments and how the dictator uses them to be more friendly to the person in power. And obviously, having any favor of Trump in the media, we cannot be doing that, because the only way to do it is to call him a fascist and a monster.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And all of his supporters deplorable garbage.
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
But seriously though, to the point about the hypothetical situation where the government is involved with the media companies, I mean, that is a scary thought. Just imagine that all of the media companies were running water for one candidate. I mean, that would be, oh, no, wait, that's exactly what they have been doing for the Democrats over the past 10 years. Never mind, actually. And I mean, maybe Brian has never heard of Operation Mockingbird. You know, that CIA program that was designed to manipulate domestic media organizations for propaganda purposes. Many of the biggest talking heads on the government dime Brian probably knows nothing about that. So anyway, let's move on to the best bit now, where Scott Jennings does what he does best and happily dismantles these clowns whilst never even getting out of second gear.
So, Carrie, I want to ask you about this idea of media takeover, because after Elon Musk purchased Twitter, changed it into X, there's no doubt that he exercised some power there. So how do you hear this even in jest kind of purchase of a cable network?
Good to be with you tonight.
Good to be with you as well.
Thanks for having me. I think that we should believe everything that is said coming from this administration. I don't think that we have the luxury to dismiss it as him being someone who's being funny or someone who is just being himself or that is his brand. X, and you said in some ways, always. I feel like X, I don't know if anyone is on it in any capacity. I don't know if you're on it. And you're the only one? You're on it? You all are on it? Okay. I've actually decided to take a rest of peace because it is not a peaceful place for me. And I know if, in fact, you don't agree with this current administration, most people can say that it's not a peaceful place. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an actual bid made to take on MSNBC, but the fact that it just can't happen in real life.
And we just can't.
It's
It's
not even
officially for sale.
Yeah, it's not officially for sale.
The last
It's not
time he
even
mused
realistic
about maybe buying something,
it's not even realistic in real life. But I do believe that media, everyone sitting here at this table, if you don't agree, we're in for some tough years ahead. I do believe that we are not going to be able to be as safe or say what we want to. I don't think free speech is going to be as free.
Now, Scott, I want to bring you in here because this kind of link to Orban, we don't pull it from nowhere. There was a former member of the Hungarian parliament who was writing in Politico who kind of talked about this effort by that government and how specific it was in terms of purchasing media specifically for propaganda. Do you hear why they're making that connection?
I mean, is the concern that certain media outlets would become propaganda arms of political ideologies? I mean, don't we already have that in this country at a large scale? I mean, also, I heard what you're saying about X. I saw a survey this week. It's now the most ideologically balanced user platform.
Scott,
of any platform.
stop. It's too early. I just sat down. I've only been here for 2 minutes.
You're going to be embarrassed when I tweet out after the show, but
you cannot say that.
Who's the source?
The case.
So
Who's the source
of that?
What I find, we've reported it on this network.
It's not accurate, and you know it.
Okay, I'll let you make your statement.
So before we move on, we can't just gloss over this. First of all, just saying, Scott, you can't say that, I just sat down, is not an argument, but it actually goes to show that these people aren't really capable of making good arguments.
I just sat down. I've only been here for 2 minutes. You cannot continue to say you cannot say that.
Because they're used to speaking in echo chambers, and when somebody actually pushes back on them and provides a contrary opinion, they tend to actually spontaneously combust, like we just saw just then.
I just sat down. I've only been here for 2 minutes.
And this is why it's so great to actually see a real cat amongst the pigeons here, which is what Scott is. Secondly, she says, "What's your source, Scott?" And then he says, "This network. We reported it on this network." And then she says, "Well, that's inaccurate." Sometimes the script just writes itself, guys. Let's carry on.
Scott, can I reframe it a different way? Because the site changed radically, right? So whether you think the voices it is somehow more balanced now, that's fine. But no doubt Musk's influence is profound, and that you open it up and now you're there with his opinion, and he is now part of this administration. So does anyone else think that there should be this greater concern about billionaires purchasing media companies?
Okay. Would you be worried if Bill Gates controlled MSNBC?
No, because he's sane.
Because MS in MSNBC
it was MS.
comes from Microsoft. It was a partnership between Microsoft and NBC way back in the 1990s, back when Microsoft was under investigation by Bill Clinton's DOJ for monopoly. I don't remember anybody panicking over MSNBC back then.
No, they definitely did. But yeah, continue. Well, like Fox was launching, MSNBC was launching. The cable news network was shifting. The landscape was shifting.
Isn't the issue that the left has gotten so used to controlling almost all institutional information distribution arms in this country that when one little piece of it, whether it's X or MSNBC or anything else, gets taken away, the panic is so outrageous. I mean, that's how used to the left is having control of all of it.
I don't think that that's an accurate assessment when you look at something like Sinclair Broadcasting Group that has purchased most of the local newspapers and local television stations and sends out distributed information that their anchors are supposed to follow for the correspondence. That is a conservative-leaning group. I think the difference, though, I'm not siding with Elon Musk at all here. The one thing to point out is that platforms are not regulated right now, which gives them carte blanche to whatever they want right now. Elon is not someone who likes to be regulated. And so to buy MSN, he would go under some federal regulations.
Who's regulating CNN right now?
The FCC.
We're not a broadcast. It's cable.
I mean, I don't really think cable stations are under the same regulatory structure.
It doesn't go over public airwaves.
That broadcast is.
It's definitely regulated more than than Facebook and
there's
Twitter.
Still, what she's saying is that there's still a litmus test of journalism that you have to pass. You can't come on TV and just make up things and say things. That happens on X. Please don't give me the eyebrow furrow as if you don't know what I'm talking about. It happens often on X. I can go and say the color is blue and I will be met with so many disrespectful remarks. No one's regulating the N-word. No one's regulating the criticism. No one is regulating how people are treated.
How much government regulation of the First Amendment are you for?
Let me tell you something. If I came on here and I just started calling you all kind of names, do you think the bosses would let me continue to do that?
I mean, it happens to me occasionally. I don't know if you watch
it doesn't happen to you, but it doesn't happen for me. And I know that I wouldn't be able to do that. There's a level of professionalism in what we do here because we are journalists and we adhere to something at least morally. And there is no moral compass on this thing called X.
So actually so much in this clip. They're happy to have Bill Gates monopolize the media, but not Elon Musk, because Bill Gates is sane. Really? Is it because he's sane and Elon Musk is insane? Or is it because Bill Gates is a liberal, globalist, establishment creature who absolutely loves the status quo just the way it is? Because it works for him and because he can buy himself a reputation as a philanthropist. But that is another video for another day, perhaps another platform. Anyways, this woman just blatantly argued for censorship, saying that there's a litmus test on CNN and these other mainstream media platforms that they don't have on X. Well, what is that litmus test? I'd love to know. Is it your willingness to drink the Kool-Aid? Is it ticking certain identity boxes or being higher up on the totem pole of the intersectional oppression Olympics? Is it going to a certain Ivy League school? No, according to her, it's a moral standard. They are morally superior to the ex-journalists. And how does she know? She knows because she's had a bunch of faceless accounts tweeting swear words and abuse at her. I mean, join the club, sweetie. It happens to all of us. What are we going to do? Regulate all the swear words on a social media platform so that your feelings don't get hurt? I think the best thing for her to do is to just keep away from X, as she has been doing in her little peaceful space. Because the days of the left-wing censorship complex and media hegemony are coming to an end. So just adapt or perish. Let's watch the rest.
We're also having a conversation about a person who has the ear of the White House in a very profound way. And you have had the former president, the president-elect, talking about yanking licenses, right? As part of the broader Republican argument that there is censorship and therefore people need to be punished for that censorship. Chuck?
And I was thinking about what X, former Twitter, the artist formerly known as Twitter, was like before. And to my sister's point is like before Elon bought it, good and bad, there was a lot of things there. My wife refuses to go on it. She says it's a cesspool and she's mad that I'm even still on it. She's got more sense than I'll ever have, and I'll tell everybody that. But I know when I open up the platform now, the first tweet I see is Elon Musk, no matter if I like it or if I don't like it.
Yeah.
The very first one all the time.
Whether you follow him or not.
So what? He bought it.
No,
you're making my point. Absolutely did. That's what's going to happen on MSNBC. And he don't like me, so I probably won't be on there no more. So I
also think that Twitter has fake computer-generated things.
It's absolutely.
So it's a little like, well, I don't think anybody. Are you real? Like, are you a hologram of yourself? You know, I didn't touch him, everyone. But like, are you a hologram of yourself?
Part of it is like, I feel like on the one hand, oh, this is really navel-gazing. Should we be talking about it? On the other hand, it was so clear that the movement and shift in tone and ideas of what was happening during the campaigns were very much affected by social media, right? Sure. When Kamala Harris entered the race, and it was like TikTok said she was a thing.
Yeah, TikTok is literally the source of information for millions of people, and
everybody
that's very scary and misinformation. And so, if in fact someone like Elon Musk had any sort of control over an entity, he's not listening to any rules or regulations. People like that,
you think the TikTok owners are?
No, it doesn't. Listen to what I'm saying. Elon Musk, if in fact in charge of any actual television station, network, etc., he's only going to listen to his own rules. Case in point, every time the first tweet I see is Elon Musk. If I want to go on that place that's not being regulated, about 2 years ago, the last line of defense that they had in terms of their morality was someone who quit because he said that he couldn't control his job was to regulate Twitter. He could not control Elon Musk because Elon Musk didn't want it to be regulated. He wanted it to be the world in which it is right now, which is a cesspool, as your wife said. She's a brilliant woman.
She is.
Tell her
That's
I
why
said
I'm
hello.
Thank you, I will.
I think the impulse to restrict speech is a slippery slope but a dangerous one. More speech is better.
Is it really? Okay.
But do you think
Got it.
you actually think that X is the place of free speech?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would argue otherwise. Is it not?
Okay.
I think before he took it over, it was not a great place for conservatives, and now it's a great place for everybody.
Yeah, you love to see it, guys. I mean, they are really freaking out and just desperately calling for censorship now because they long for the days of old. Imagine how good they must have had it back then. Twitter algorithms will boost what you do and they'll ban all of your enemies. You never have to hear anyone else's opinion that you disagree with, and you never have to debate anyone or win the battle of ideas at all. It's just a liberal fart sniffing contest, and you can live in the delusion that you guys are the arbiters of truth and the bringers of news and knowledge to the peasants, but not for long. So anyways, guys, don't forget to check out the reality-based store. Check out these counterculture shirts as well. I do love these shirts. If you haven't liked the video and subscribed to the channel, it would be unbelievably appreciated. And if you'd like to watch another one, right here. Till next time, I'm Jake. This is Rattlesnake TV, keeping you armed and dangerous.